Hi, my name is Dr. Michelle Maidenberg, and today we're going to be talking about human connection. One of the things that the coronavirus has taught us is the importance of human connection. And I could speak from experience, very recently, a friend of mine passed by the house, and I haven't seen her for, quite a while because of the virus. And, she just kind of drove by and stopped the car. And I looked at her and I was almost in tears. I wanted so desperately to reach out to her and hug her. And it felt so painful not to be able to hold her like I usually do when I greet her. But I really felt that loss in that moment. And, not being able to be near people and hold them and share with them has been, I think, the biggest loss that I've heard all around from those that I've spoken to. My patients repeatedly say, especially, the kids and adolescents and teens, how much they miss their friends, that it's really suffering that they're experiencing to be away from their friends. And that's the one thing that they look forward to reconnecting after all of this. So, I think sometimes we take for granted our human connection, both from, the point of view of just being able to visually see somebody and know that they're present, and then also being able to touch them, the power of touch, whether it's a hug or holding a hand or even, putting your hand on their shoulder and reassuring or comforting somebody is so powerful. And I think that's something that we take for granted sometimes. And I think that that's the one thing that's going to be so enduring after this is all over, is the power of that and how much we'll really put into our relationships in the future, going on into the future. So, some tips or things to think about. We're doing our best, keeping in touch and communicating and connecting. And that's all we could do to be safe, obviously, and healthy. But, I guess from now into the future, it's really important to think about other ways to connect. And, some of those ways, again, which we don't always pay attention to, that are so critical in our relationships. One is acknowledging somebody. So, saying thank you, telling somebody how you really feel authentically, like I miss you, or I miss not seeing you, or I miss not being with you, I miss not sharing with you. And then also just relational communication. So what does that mean? I'll give you an example. One time I was standing with a person and we were kind of talking, and then somebody else came over, and I realized that as we were talking in a group, there was the conversation kind of transitioned, and the person who was speaking just said something very powerful and deep and personal, and the conversation kind of flipped over into another topic. And then I walked away, and it kind of came to me that this person was just kind of left. They were dropped. And I thought to myself, I wonder how they felt, because they just really disclosed something and shared something that was so deep. And I wonder if they just felt kind of abandoned in their thoughts and feelings. So I returned back to them. And that's the greatest things about relationship. We could always return back. We never have to feel that it's over and that we can't either rework, or reconnect. So I came back to her afterwards and I said to her, I realized that when we were sitting and talking, that you shared something so powerful and deep about yourself. And I really appreciated you doing that and learning that about you. That was really meaningful to me. And I have to apologize because I realized that as we were talking, one conversation led to another, and you weren't really validated for your feelings. And I want to apologize for that because, I was in on that. And she looked at me with such kind of surprise, and she said, I didn't even realize that happened, but thank you so much for your consideration and for coming over and inquiring. And, that's really kind of relational communication, is remembering people, and another example of that is, somebody may share with you that somebody in their family is sick or something's happening, and following up with them, calling them back. How's your grandmother doing? Or how is, how are you feeling? Or what was that like for you, that experience that you had, right? Or how was that doctor's appointment? And by the way, us responding to others is just as important, as it is important to us. It's just as important, to the other person. So when we, tell somebody something important, and then we don't follow up with them and let them know how things went, let's say, that also leaves them in a quandary, and it leaves them maybe worrying about us, or wondering if we want to talk about it or share. So it's important to kind of, pay attention when you're conversing with others, or when you're in a relationship, to give to others just like you would want, for yourself. And follow through and follow up is really important. And I think that's something that sometimes we don't do often enough. So the guided meditation is going to be around human connection, because I think that's something that we really have gratitude for now more than ever. So I want you to close your eyes, and if you could kind of sit up straight and really think about, and it could be anybody or anything that you feel, very connected to. It could be, a mother, a father, a friend. It could be a pet, a stuffed animal, whatever, that you grew up with. And I want you to imagine, and I'm going to use a person, that person sitting next to you, right by your side. And imagine that you feel their presence near you. And try to tap into your body where it is that you feel that emotional connection. And sit with that for a moment, and really kind of tap into that warmth. And I want you to imagine facing the person, looking at them eye to eye, and maybe putting your hand on top of theirs and just holding it there, and letting them know that you're there for them, that you care about them, that you need them. And again, really connect to the warmth that you're feeling, right? It could be, deep warmth. It could be love. It could be appreciation and affection. And think about something that you would want to tell them, to let them know they're appreciated. And think about how you would say it. You could do it while embracing them. You could do it while holding their hands, or just looking into their eyes. And think about saying, "Thank you for being in my life. Thank you for allowing me to share with you. Thank you for being a support. Thank you for showing me love. And thank you for showing me how to love." And when I count to 3, and when you're ready, you could open your eyes. 1, 2, and 3. Thank you again. I wish you and your families health and safety. Thank you.